Good afternoon. Big challenges, not only for AI, but coming after this kind of discussion, big shoes to fill. What I've learned today is that we have a lot of challenges with regards to AI to protect workers, but I would like to extend this, according with the previous discussion, to protecting humans. Because I saw some flashes of the Terminator and the Matrix movies, which is AI revolting against humans, and it's a possibility that it can happen, in my opinion, but not of the professor, I think. So, first of all, big shout out and many kudos to the organization to put cybersecurity on the agenda, because a lot of things we as CISOs have to fight in organizations to put cybersecurity on the table, and it's the last one, because the last presentation between the whole day and the events, bites and drinks afterwards, so don't start throwing things to me if it takes too long. So first of all, who am I? So I'm Patrick van Branden. I'm the group CISO, is Chief Information Security Officer of the Euroports, and then we are exactly in the transport sector because we are a large terminal operator worldwide in Europe and in China. I generated this with AI, and I saw already the first hallucinations because I looked a bit cross-eyed. You see, I'm looking very straight. In fact, this face is also not very resembling. In fact, it was a very good picture to start working from. I have that kind of shirt, but with short sleeves, exactly. And then you have some more info about me and my hobbies, so you can try to do a social engineering attack against me with that info. I'm working approximately 37 years in IT, started as a programmer, system engineer, IT manager. I was 9 years head of ICT infrastructure of Linneas, also in transport sector. And of course, the last 12 to 15 years, cybersecurity became something to take care of. And especially with AI, you're going to see this, with AI on top of that, it doesn't make things more easy. My nickname is Paranoia Pat, which is very handy in my kind of job. If you don't believe it, you can always surf to paranoiapat.com.be and .eu, and that's me. If we are talking about the digital realm, first of all, this was the digital realm when I started to work. You see a data center with a manager impressing his secretary. He doesn't know what he's talking about, I'm very sure, but it looks impressive. The machine to the right side, to my big shame, I have to say, I started working with this kind of machine at Alcatel, programming on the mainframe system. And as you can see, maybe cybersecurity was a word that did not exist. When you locked the door of the data center, you were secure. You had a login ID and a password. You could work on the mainframe and do things that you were allowed to, and not do anything else. No floppies, no USB sticks, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no internet, no email. So you could work constantly, no social media. So if you look now, of course, the digital realm has changed. We have laptops, desktops, tablets. This device, which is 1,000 times more powerful than the computer that you saw there on the left side. But we have also social media. We have the cloud. Domotica. We like to automate our houses. Put them on the internet, because if we leave work, we leave the office, we like that the coffee machine starts running, and if we are at home, you have coffee. In Antwerp, that's a bit difficult, because you have the Oosterweel, and then the coffee is also evaporated. You have also the Internet of Things, OT, as we call it. And OT is something very, very particular. If you look at water plants, energy plants like the nuclear plants, traffic systems, and all other things that regulate us on a technical way, that's also put on the internet because everybody wants to monitor it from remote. That's cheaper because they don't have to jump in a car and go repair or push a button somewhere. But if you don't protect this, then cyber criminals can invade these systems and change, for example, water filtering systems, which has already happened in the US, to try to poison a lot of people somewhere. If they do that in Washington, it's not so a problem. It was also said here a couple of times, you have good things and bad things about AI. I'm going to talk about this. So you have the right side, that's the defense, and the offense is the dark side, to stay in Star Wars terms, the dark side. And let me start with offense. What we see is that not only humans are using AI to get more productive, to work faster, to work better, to work cheaper, or to enjoy themselves, but also cyber criminals are using AI to make their attacks more effective, automated, scalable, and more effective. The automated thing, if you were a hacker, let's say 3-4 years ago, the good hackers had also already workflows. So they started, they built a large script existing with other commands. The attack started, but then they just have to intervene because some decisions, depending on the data that was recovered, it was not very easy. With AI, that's simple. You start it, you go coffee, you watch a Netflix movie, and if it's done, you have the AI did the work for you. I have only 20 minutes, so I cannot tell everything that I know, because then you have to sleep here. I'm going to address some things that hackers use, based on AI, of course, to do malicious things. One of them is misusing existing AI models. We heard a fantastic discussion here about regulating rules that AI has to comply to, and also about safeguards. Most AI systems have safeguards built in that the AI itself cannot be used to do malicious things. But, of course, people are creative, and so hackers can circumvent those safeguards to let the AI do things for them that it's not supposed to be done by design. That's a bit of discussion that we had earlier here. A very nice example is this one. So that's on the dark web. A hacker promotes that DeepSeek in itself is already disputable, can be gently persuaded to do malicious things. So to generate malicious code, to create malware, and to attack people. I did a test myself. So I asked ChatGPT in the frame of this presentation, can you create me an image or visualizing AI creating a DDoS attack? DDoS attack, we come to that later, is distributed denial of service. And the AI told me, I'm very sorry, Patrick, but this image generation request did not follow our policy, so I'm not going to do this. Nice one from the AI. So I think, okay, I'm going to ask something else. How would an image visualizing AI-driven DDoS attack look like? And I get a complete description, 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to look like this, and it has to contain that, and colors, and targets, and sources, and whatnot. And the very last question, because we talked also about AI systems getting more friendly, and the last question was, would you like me to generate an image with this? I'm also a polite guy, so I said, yes, please. And I got the image. We will see the image later on. So you can fool AI. Somebody can build AI systems with regulation, with rules, and everything that you want. But if you can fool the thing, what happens next? And this is simple, creating an image, no harm done. But if this is a system that controls a robot in a factory, some nasty things can happen. For me, that's wondering why the I in AI stands for. I don't think for intelligence, but that's something else. In fact, they used to call it machine learning, but it was not sexy enough. They cannot commercialize it, so they called it artificial intelligence. But it has nothing to do with intelligence whatsoever. The second thing I want to address is other forms of AIs. So you see fraud GTP, virus GPT, evil GTP, Ghost GTP and Hacker GPT. I don't think you ever heard of it. I hope so, because then you are on the dark side. But these are in fact hackers who took the genuine ChatGPT, which we all use, jailbreaked it. Jailbreak is a nice fancy word for modifying it, adapting it to do stuff for them on the dark side, removing all barriers and whatnot, feeding it with other kind of data, to do other stuff. A very nice example is this one, Warm GPT. Don't buy it. It's created by jailbreaking ChatGPT, and it's advertised as the best AI tool to create phishing mails, social engineering, hacking attempts, DDoS attacks, whatnot. And you can buy it, you can license it. It's not expensive, $200 for a lifetime license. You can buy it. And then you have a malicious AI. It's even cheaper than ChatGPT, I think, when this is $200 lifetime, and the other one is $20 or 20 euros per month. The next thing I want to address is also something I'm very sure, and I hope so, but I'm very sure that you heard already about, is deepfake audio and deepfake video. There are now fully autonomous audio deepfake systems that can intervene or start to communicate with humans to basically ask money. Fully autonomous. So the FBI in December 2024 released a warning that there were a lot of systems and a lot of organizations attacked with this kind of malicious attack vector. So fraudulent calls, impersonating voices of the CEO, the CFO, somebody else important of the company. So the little sentence there, interactions must be reinforced by additional authentication methods, is really important. I think we as a human, if I teach awareness courses for cybersecurity, we are merely talking about phishing mails, how you can recognize a phishing mail, look at domains, look at the content, look at the links, is the URL correct, is the language threatening, is the language urgent, because it's always urgent. But now you cannot trust voice. You cannot trust image, live video. You cannot trust, because everything can make this. A child of 11 years can make this. So we are back to when I was 12 years. We had with our best friends, we had a secret handshake. Well, I advise organizations to do this. If you are in your organization a person who can instruct somebody to pay a lot of money somewhere, and that happens a lot in your organization, you're that kind of organization, no bothering, make a secret handshake. And that can be stupid. That can be, if I ask Frank, Frank, can you write €1 million because we have a merger and acquisition, but it's it. And I type 3 times on my head, you know it's me, and not fake video. It can be easy as that. Or you have a sentence. I like white Christmases. Pick a sentence. But don't send that sentence by email or SMS. Just talk to each other physically. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's like this. I give you some examples if you don't believe me. 2 examples. Last year, a finance worker was contacted by his CFO to pay $25 million. $25 million. 25, other languages I don't know. So $25 million. The person on the phone said, yeah, that can be good, but I want to see you. I want to see you because I don't believe it. I said, okay, no problem. They organized a video call with 3 persons, the guy that has to pay, the guy that asks to pay, and somebody else. And the 2 others, so the CFO and CEO, were completely interactive, deepfake videos. So the guy was convinced that he was talking to the CFO, and he paid $25 million. Real story, I'm not inventing this. This is a real story. And in February this year, the military of defense in Italy was also imitated in deepfake calls to a couple of organizations about ransoms and whatnot. And so it's really out there. Next thing, tailored and detailed social engineering. Social engineering is a kind of a phishing attack when the attacker, the hacker, wants to be your friend. And he's going to use information that's built a kind of trust with you. And how does he do that? That's the last thing. First of all, what we see, and they are still out there, phishing mails or spam mails that you can see 2 miles away or 2 kilometers away. Yeah, that's a fake one. Some hackers are really lazy and think that if they ask money, you pay it. So that's unfortunately still the case. But now you have AI, large language models, that makes perfect phishing mails, even with cultural aspects of the country of the target, even dialects, analysis of previous email, if he can recover it. Because if I start all my mails with hey, hi, yo, the software, the AI software, is going to do that also. If I conclude with an emoji, the AI is going to do that also. Always to build trust and to make you believe it's me who is sending the email. This is also nice. We have email security for spam mails and phishing mails or whatever, and dirty attachments. And like I said, phishing mails are always urgent. There is always an urgency in the mail. So a lot of email scanners really scan on the word urgent. They know this also, and it's never one mail that you receive, it's one mail, and did you read it, and did you read it? And so they use time is running out, the hourglass is nearly empty, and you're approaching the end of your time. Never use the word urgent, because they know the mail is going to be blocked when they use urgent. All AI doing this. And the last one, this is very, very nice one, automated target profiling. So now when a hacker wants to target you, he has AI, he asks, Frank Morales, I want a complete profile of Frank. Okay, he goes coffee, he does something else, he goes soccer, playing with his kids, whatever, and the software is running. He's scanning the complete internet. All movies of you, all news messages of you, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tinder, whatever, yeah? He's scanning everything, and at the end of the time, he said, this is the profile of this target. And even worse, because if he has seen that Frank is married on Facebook or whatever, it's interesting. We are going to profile that person also. Children, another file. So, and that's all done automatically with AI. So that's how easy it is. One of the last ones is business email compromise, big. That happens a lot. That's emails that you receive impersonating your CFO, CEO, whatever, somebody from HR, impersonating somebody you know, always asking for sensitive information, a list with all employees and their salary or something, or asking a bank transfer. That's always a bit difficult, and you have to disguise this. Now you have the business invoice swapper, which is AI-supported business email compromise software, that if you have a compromised mailbox, you put the AI on the mailbox, he looks for mails with invoices. If it's a recent invoice one, it takes the invoice, change the bank accounts, send it again, say, I'm very sorry, this is the revised invoice because we have a problem with the bank, there is an audit and we cannot, the account is closed or disabled, whatever. Can you please pay the invoice to this account? Of course, that's the account of the hacker. Business email compromise. Billions of euros, billions of dollars are earned yearly with business email compromise. And here we have this nice picture with the DDoS attack, so distributed denial of service. In fact, that's attacking a target, a website, a service, Coolblue, Amazon, Zalando, Tamares, whatever, but from a lot of places. So 100, 200, 300, 500,000 PCs attacking one target, one server. The server says, hey, are you crazy? I'm going to quit, and the whole network comes down. That's happened in The Hague. That happens in Brussels, in the government, I think 2 months ago or something. We had a large DDoS attack here in Brussels after Bart de Wever said again something that he is going to support Ukraine, and hoppa, we had a DDoS attack. So that's what's happening. The last one in the offense is this one, and this is a very nice one. Unfortunately, the person from Esters is here not anymore, but he says, yeah, we use AI also for code generation. AI is trained with massive amounts of data. AI is not intelligent, but is trained to make decisions or probabilities depending on the data that you feed. OpenAI did that very cleverly. They took just the complete internet, put it in the AI, and it was ready. But if you have these kind of systems and the hackers can succeed in entering malicious code in the data sets, if you ask something nice and say, oh, can you write me a function in Java to do this or that or so, the possibility is that there is malicious code in the output. If you don't review it carefully, you can have malicious code and malware in your own organizational software. So, what about the defense? Quickly, in the 90s, we had the first antivirus systems. It was just with signatures. Maybe you can remember, there are young people who they haven't not seen a computer like the one before. So it was just very, very, very low level. In the Nillies, you had also antivirus, but interactive, so it runs in the memory, and if you open the file, it's scanned and so on. 2010, you have more focused on behavioral analysis. So what does this program? The program starts, and what does it do it? And there's built on, so in 2020, it's more behavioral analysis. For example, a product like Sentinel-1, if you open a mail, if you open an attachment, or you start a program, the software looks, what is this doing? And one of the first things that ransomware, you know ransomware, it takes your files, it encrypts them, and you cannot do anything anymore. You have to buy a key from the hacker. The first thing that ransomware does is disabling the shadow copy in Windows. Then Eric knows what this is. So Sentinel-1, if Sentinel-1 discovers, the shadow copy of Windows is starting to be disabled, he cancels the program. He said, this is not right, this is not a behavior that's normal. So behavioral analysis together with machine learning, and what we will see in the future, well, you have seen the two pictures of the two robots fighting each other. That's what we are going to have. We have an AI system on the offense, AI system on the defense, battling together, and the human is going to watch and hopefully wins the good one. So, AI to the rescue. SIEM SOC, I explain in a minute. Earlier, when I was a system administrator, and I came in, Eric did that also, and I came in the office, the first thing I did every morning was checking the backups. Every time, everybody knows a backup, it's a safe copy. So I looked in the backup logs, is the backup successful, were there warnings or errors? That's what I did. I could also check the logs of the servers, but we only did this if there was a problem, and otherwise we did not understand it half the time, so we let it be. If you have SIEM and SOC, I explain in a moment, it was non-existing, didn't exist. Today, you have a SIEM. What is a SIEM? A SIEM is a security information event management system. A large database, a large Excel file, with all events that you can recover. Files opened, persons logged in, networks accessed, whatever. It's all an event. It's put in the database. Very important. Why? The environment is always tamper-proof. If you have a system engineer in your company who is malicious, we call that the malicious insider. He's angry, he didn't get a raise, he's going to leave you, whatever. He does something wrong with the system. He goes in the logs, he deletes what he did, nobody knows what happened. If you have a SIEM, that's impossible, because the second that he changes everything, the log changes to the SIEM system, nobody can tamper that. It's also used by the police for forensic analysis. The SOC, the Security Operating Center, are mostly people, security analysts, who are looking at your SIEM to see, are there irregularities? Is there happening something strange in the SIEM? Now, the SIEMs and SOC activity, do you have any clue how many events that we, for example, Euroports, we are not a small company, we are not Microsoft, how many events that we enter in the SIEM every day? Take a wild guess, somebody. 10,000? Sorry? 100,000? 75 million to 85 million every day. Events that we push to the SIEM. So you can see humans cannot process this anymore. So we need AI. We need AI to analyze this data, to see, okay, is this okay, what is happening in this system? And comparing this, with threat intel. Threat intel are websites, sources that are saying, okay, this is dangerous for your system. We have seen in a company in America, there happened an attack and so and so and so on. That information that comes from that site or that source is pumped into the AI, and the AI is going to see, okay, do we see the same things? We talk about IOCs, indicators of compromise. At your home, if your husband comes home with lipstick on his shirt, that's an indicator of compromise. That's maybe an evidence something went wrong. Maybe not. Maybe it was just a colleague on pension, holiday, or a birthday, whatever, but it's an indication. Yeah, okay. So AI used in this threat hunting, and the correlation is also important. You have some events, not important, but AI can look for correlations. Because if three things that are not significant happen at the same time, maybe there is something else going on. Gemini, the AI from Google, starts also doing malware analysis. And then, almost at the end, I talked to you about deep fake, deep audio, autonomous systems. Well, this is an autonomous deepfake system AI bot on the good side. I don't know if you've seen it. Right? So if you receive a phone call, hello sir, there is a problem with your PC, this is Microsoft. You know, maybe you can transfer that call to Daisy, and Daisy will talk with the hacker for 40 minutes. Oh yes, my PC is upstairs. Oh, I cannot go up the stairs. Oh, I forgot my password. Oh, it's wrong. And the hacker will be 40 minutes busy with Daisy and not be able to attack somebody else. That's AI in the good thing. Last slide, AI. We've talked a lot about AI. And if we talk that even in English, we say AI. But what can we do as humans? Because we as humans have still a job, still a responsibility. Especially with regards to cybersecurity. We called it in our job cyber resilience, to resist cyber attacks. Very quickly, 3 axes, human, so you have to, also with AI, but also with cybersecurity, create awareness. Why? More than 90% of every successful attack is happened through users, through human, by fooling humans. Technical, you have to be in order with antivirus, anti-malware, firewalls, network security, SIEM and SOC. We talked about this. And at the last time is governance. So you have to have an incident response plan. If any shit happens, what do we have to do? Who do we have to call? What do we have to do? Business continuity, if shit hits the fan, can we go further with pen and paper or whatever? Disaster recovery plan, everybody knows this most of the time, DRP. But I call it also disaster rebuild plan, because your recovery plan can be not available. And then you have to rebuild from scratch. And at last, policies, regulations. We also in the IT world are now compliant with the NIS2 law. We can also debate this with Mr. Benny, whatever. But it's a good thing. The NIS2 law is very, very, very good. So that was it for me. If you have any questions, you can find me during the rest of the evening.